showers and thunderstorms today with strong southwesterly winds to 37 miles per hour.
It's a numbers game, especially for the situation that we're in. We're coming off of a high water event here. The outdoors is not a hobby. It's not our passion. It is our way of life. We make the perfect cast, slow our breathing to execute a perfect shot, spend hours researching locations and techniques. Regardless of effort, we fail. This series is not about incredible bites or trophy animals. Our goal here at Day One Outdoors is to educate our viewers utilizing new technology to offer a different perspective. Watch as we research new areas, plan out the day, and adjust to changing conditions. If not for other experienced outdoorsmen teaching me along the way, I wouldn't have this life. I owe it to them to pass this knowledge along. I owe it to you. Join us here on Day One Outdoors, and let's learn how to become more successful in the field and on the water from day one.
We're cheating a little bit here today out on Lake CHELAN. I brought a ringer with me, Mr. Bill Herzog. Usually when we come out and do these shows, we try and go to a body of water that we've never fished and try and break it down, figure out a pattern, and show you how to be successful. Well, today, this is a very popular fishery. It's a huge body of water. I don't even know where to start, so besides, I like fishing with you.
Well,
your wealth of knowledge and you're a lot of fun.
Well, the fun part about this lake is there's always somewhere to go where no one is.
Yeah.
And these fish, they don't go underground. They don't just stop in one spot. They look for where the feed is, and this time of year, they like to move shallow. So we're going to start shallow this morning. We're in 70 feet of water, and that's pretty shallow. In the wintertime, we fish 100 to 170 feet down.
That's crazy.
Because the water temperature is all the same, and that's where their feed is in the winter.
Yep.
This time of year, warmer water, feed comes down this way because we got the big push. The Sinlahican River really flows hard this time of year from snowmelt. Boom, pushes everything down this way, and right here is where we have this upwelling, and that's where the fish are, where the feed is. So it just makes sense to start here. Are those fish we're marking right there?
Yeah.
Let's put them down there and see what we get.
You want to run your setups off the downriggers on your program?
Right.
And I can run my program.
Let's run your program. Okay.
However the heck I end up doing that.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, all right. You get full control of the downriggers.
Going about 1.2.
Okay.
1.2.
1.2, magic number for Kokanee.
Some things never change.
No.
It's a typical spring morning, bright sun, pouring down rain. Welcome to Eastern Washington. We'll start at 35.
That's the downrigger going down, so Herzog's right at about 38 feet with his setup.
The 50-50 has been used since almost the turn of the century. Commercial salmon anglers have been using 50-50. They use half brass, half nickel. What it is, the really fancy stuff is half gold and half silver plate, but not necessary when you're fishing shallow. If you put that down in the water and watch it, the brass turns blue and the nickel looks just like the side of a fish. It looks like a fish in the water. That's the theory that commercial fishermen have used for years, is why the 50-50 works so well for their big kelp cutter dodgers and flashers they used to use. And what we use it for, it's a contrast, looks like a fish. That's what we think. Always put the lid back on before you put your stuff back in the water. That's experience talking.
Herzog has his gear down on the downriggers right now. I'm going to try and mix things up a little bit, give the fish a different look, and widen out our spread. So I'm going to start out by putting out a couple side planers, then adding on these tiny little weights here. What's cool about them is that they have on the clip a little pin on the inside, so you can just clip it onto your line and it will never come off because of that pin. These are from Offshore Tackle. You know, this is a company that's from the Midwest, and those guys fish on the Great Lakes. That's all that they do is troll. So from the planer boards to the weights to the clips, they've thought through just about everything that you can imagine. So we're gonna try it out here a little bit, see if we can't get bit and just widen out our spread a touch. Our speed is perfectly at 1.2. I need to hurry up and get my gear down because I'm not even fishing yet, and Herzog has his 2 rods out.
Trick this time of year when they start moving shallow is to find them. Once you find them, you'll find big schools and you stay on them.
We talk about it all the time, doesn't matter what rod, reel, line, you get the best lure, best bait, best scent, none of it matters until you're on top of them.
Our line angle is perfect, our speed's perfect. Now that's a fish at about 15 feet. Is that what I'm seeing there?
Yeah, that looks like a little fishy there. They might be up shallower. Okay. Best fish finder out here is other fishermen.
Yeah, well, see, guys who have been here every single day know what's going on.
All these old retired guys.
Yeah.
Oh, fish on right here. Fish on. That's my favorite little setup right there too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, ooh, whoa. That was a head shake.
Damn.
Hey, and actually that fish bit right when I sped us up. So it might have been following. There you go. There you go. Doubled up. Hey. Yeah, doubled up. So we might have been around school and just needed to speed up a little bit.
How deep were you?
This has a 3-ounce Offshore Tackle little fish weight on it. And I was out 60 feet, so pretty short behind the corner here. I'm gonna slide them up to you. It's soft mouths. Nice net job, perfect. It's a fat fish.
He sure is pretty.
It's been a slow morning, but that right there is one of my favorite setups, a straight silver, then pink on pink, a little spin glow. And I like the spin glow rig because of its neutral buoyancy. You get a lot of action out of it, a lot of action.
You go to a new lake, you bring pink with you, pink and UV, guess what? Probably gonna work.
It's probably gonna work?
Yeah.
Well, this is a new lake for me and it worked.
The Holy Diver, yes. How
So
about
is this an average size kokanee?
That is an average coke. That's probably 14, 15 inches, 14 inch.
That's a beautiful fish.
I love that. Oh, dude, and they taste better than they look. Hey, you want to see the super secret? Watch this. Watch this.
Oh, the super secret. Here it is.
Remember this from the seminar?
Yep.
Oh, now I'm just going.
And you know what? We do that
one after
same
another
thing shad fishing.
How about that? You put
I know.
Put a little juju on
There
there.
it is. Rub it on, rub it on. Maybe it's just fisherman superstition, but it doesn't hurt, so why not try it?
Fishfield is your one-stop shop online for the gear you need here in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. From salmon and steelhead, saltwater, trout and kokanee, even crabbing. Visit fishfield.com today to place an order with no sales tax and have the gear you need shipped fast. Fishfield.com, we have what the Northwest outdoorsman needs.
Every once in a while, a new lure comes along that catches every angler's attention. It could be because of all the irresistible colors and finishes, or the patented skip beat action. Or maybe it's the wide variety of sizes designed for salmon, trout, walleye, steelhead, mackinaw, and more. But just for the record, we know one thing for certain. We didn't design the maglip to catch fishermen. Yakima Bait Company.
So a lot of guys make a big mistake when they're kokanee fishing. They don't load their rods up all the way. That's your hook set. We fish with these pieces of rubber now. Basically, these rods are so limber, you can't get a hook set. When the rod's loaded, when that fish hits, that's the hook set. If you get your rod not loaded up, when you takes it, you'll pull it down and drop it before it loads up. It's really important to have that like that.
We had our double right back there in that mass of boats, and sometimes you just need to join in on the party. So what we're gonna do, instead of making a big wide sweep and turn, we've been trolling for about an hour. We're gonna do a reset, freshen up our corn, turn the boat around, get the boat squared off in the direction that we wanna go, and then reset our gear. And on the setup I had, this is a fast limit Dodger, just all silver. Then down to the Tightline kokanee rig, which is the spin glow setup, the spin glow kokanee rig. And again, I like it because it has neutral buoyancy. That flasher, man, you get a lot of action out of it because there's no drag back there. So the corn that we have on there now, on this one actually, I have two flavors that I brought today. So I'm running the pink over here with a lot of the ocean scent, And then the red over here, there's 2 different flavors. And on this one, I actually put 1 kernel of each on it. So it doesn't really help figure out which one they want. Definitely do not lick your fingers after doing this. You will have a red and pink tongue.
For like a month. Later on in the season, when the fish start getting a little mature, they turn into sockeye. So that looks like a sockeye rig, doesn't it?
Oh, it's definitely sockeye. And these are sockeye, Kokanee
Yeah,
sockeye.
there you go. When they start getting a little mature, you go just to that.
So why do you say you're not supposed to troll into the sun for kokanee?
They have really big eyes. They're the most light-sensitive salmon as a sockeye. Their eyes are huge, and of course they don't have eyelids. When you're looking into the sun, it's not happening.
Yeah, I got to put my sunglasses on. Yep.
There you go. They have no sunglasses, so
Or eyelids.
they look that way. So theoretically, we always do best when they're shallow. It's best to troll diagonally or away from the sun, but when they're deep, it doesn't seem to matter.
On the banana.
Outstanding, Private.
Look at that fish. As soon as I open up my banana. Bananas are bad luck. As soon as it cracked open. Want to grab that board for me?
The board? Sure. So I just cut it off.
Yeah, what I like about those boards is it just widens your spread, especially when it's flat calm like this and there's a lot of boats, a lot of pressure. You can kick your gear out to the sides. A lot of times when you go over top of these fish, they'll spook off to the side, and that keeps your gear and a presentation out in front of those fish that might have kicked out from underneath the boat.
And I promise you, you're the only guy out here, we are the only guys out here using
boards.
planers.
Yep.
No one else does that here.
This water's so clear you can see the fish fighter downrigger weight down there. It's right there. See it? Well, here's what happens when you're out here filming. You take a lot of liberties with these fish.
Enough of them without.
Yeah,
doing that.
kokanee have really soft mouths. We tried to get a little underwater shot of him, and he came off. And that was a really nice kokanee too. It's about 15 inches. Herzog's tits. Definitely the sun going away is going to help. Hopefully get these fish starting to bite.
Okay.
But it is always fun fishing with you because it's
There,
always
look at
entertaining.
that, look at that.
Yeah,
There's
see?
a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them, and you went way below them.
45.
We just marked a few on the graph, and Bill's getting all excited. You're still below him.
I am?
Yep.
Rotten. I'm at 42 on this. So there you go, 38. That should get them.
Yep, that's pretty close to him. You're about on him, maybe a touch deeper still.
Okay, well they'll move.
Yes, they will, especially in this clear water. We're finally starting to see a couple fish get caught
Yes.
over to our port, off our bow. We're in shallow water.
This is crazy. Normally here, you get in 200 to 250 feet of water and you look for fish in between, anywhere from 80, 90, 100, 120. They have really moved. They really surprised me, and they moved way shallow. This is shallower than I've ever seen them, ever. In here, no one kokanee fishes in here that I've ever seen, but hey, every year is different.
Well,
When in Rome, right?
What might be happening too is with the high water that we're having this year, that's additional current being pushed this way. So it might be just pushing all that bait up over top that lip and up on this flat.
Check out the big brain on Cozy.
I'm a thinker.
How about that?
Yeah, kokanee for the most part, they're free range. You know, they're open water feeders. It's not like, say, trout or bass or walleye where they associate to hard cover. They just swim around wherever the heck they feel like it, and you hope to run across them. Now we're seeing fish caught around us, which is the worst thing to ever happen to any fisherman. It means that you're doing something wrong. So now it's just playing the switch up game. Keep change up colors, change up scents, your depth. So I'm switching over to a really small dodger, and then an even smaller spin glow. And it's part of the fun of catching these fish. You get to try all your own gear too. So this is something I tied up last night. Tiny little black spin glow and a hoochie, a couple of fish field hooks. And then I'm just going with a lot smaller dodger. Sun's starting to get pretty high. This water is gin clear, so I'm thinking maybe something a little bit more subtle, but I don't know. We'll find out. We've seen a couple of these other boats hook up around us, and like Bill mentioned earlier, it's always better to fish above them than below them. These fish will absolutely swim down to your gear, but they prefer to feed up. The last couple fish that we've seen hooked, they got them in the boat within a matter of a couple seconds, which means we're probably underneath these fish. So might need to adjust our weights, adjust our downriggers, try something different here.
Not happy about this.
Yeah, we're seeing plenty of fish get
Look
caught.
at that.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so within 30 seconds of switching over to 9 feet on the downrigger, Bill immediately hooks up. Immediately, within seconds. So yeah, we definitely need to go shallow. We were way under him.
Knew it. It's just a matter of.
You knew it.
Yeah. There's fish on right here, right here. Grab it, fish.
And I could see the clip. We're under him. As soon as Bill hooked up at 9 feet, he brought this one up to 6 feet. We're way under him. You knew it. I was the one who said it.
I knew it, man.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm telling you, I know we got the right stuff out there. It's insane, right? Mo better?
Yeah, we're feeling better now. We're starting to figure them out.
Plain rasticle. This is a plain little rasticle at 10 feet down. Plain
That is
rasticle.
UV and glow, 9 feet down in high sun.
Classic Lake Chelan Kokanee, about 13 and 14. See?
It's all depth. It's all depth. It just took seeing a couple other guys hook fish and immediately,
You said he had it, and you saw him jump, and I go, that's.
yeah, before he's even to the rod, fish is on the surface, so that means that they're shallow. Like I mentioned earlier, the best fish finder is other anglers. Time to reset. Take off all the heavy leads,
Yep.
shorter setbacks.
You could probably just put a Dodger back there and put it back there on its own.
Well, that one guy, he didn't look like he had it on a downrigger at all.
Yeah, he was flatlining. You bet. Actually, it was pretty cool figuring that out.
Yeah, it's really cool. 'Cause we're here to catch fish, Herzog.
One of it was like, steelhead fishing, like the camaraderie, just being in the boat.
Just being a part of it.
As far as on end.
Yeah, no thanks. Kokanee fishing's about numbers.
Tis. I'm going deep. I'm going to 7 feet.
Woo, you rebel.
Getting down there, man. Going down.
Salmon swim up to 3,000 miles to return to their exact place of birth to reproduce. Well, most of the time.
High sun, clear water. You'd think go deep,
Yeah.
go clear hoochies, more natural colors, smaller dodgers, smaller flashers, but man, they're wanting bright. They're wanting lots of color and shallow. And this rod here is super shallow. 75 feet back, I only got a ½ ounce lead on it.
So you're probably 15 feet down.
If that. Oh, I might still have them. Oh, I do still have them. I keep on trying to drag them, buddy.
Well,
Oh, look at this giant. Got him.
talk to you about those.
Oh, there he goes. Perfect. I'm getting all dirty. Hey, this is what's fun about today too, though. I mean, I know it's a grind. I know we're struggling. What's fun about it is that we're learning something new.
And we do have like a dozen.
Yeah, so it's not bad.
Right. It's not like
It's not like we're getting skunked or anything. I know that Chelan is known for quick, fast limits, but
sure.
it's May. Every pattern that you've known in the past doesn't exist today.
It's completely opposite. We're fishing shallow water instead of deep water. We're fishing shallower instead of deeper. We're fishing bright instead of subtle.
Everything's wrong.
Yeah, it's like I'm in a brand new lake. Like I've never been here.
That's kind of fun. No, it's not. You're annoyed.
No.
Usually about an 8-foot long rod is what you're looking for. That way you can get a little bit of spread, especially that way the rods can go over top of the downriggers and fold down in towards the water and create a lot of good tension, like Bill mentioned earlier. You want to have that rod spring loaded so when the fish does bite, that's your hook set. Line counter reels, I really like them a lot. If not, you can put marks on your line, just again like what Bill does, and that way you know exactly how far your setbacks are. Because getting a consistent pattern for getting your setbacks consistent from 60 to 150 feet can be really important in the difference between catching and not. For our line, I'm using the 10-pound Maxima Tuna Blue. I really have become to like this line just because it's high vis without it being high vis. I can see it really well above water, but as soon as it goes underneath the water, it tends to disappear. Down here on this setup, on the planer board setup, this is just an inline weight, it has a little snap on it, and a pin inside that snap so that it will not come off until you open it up. And that on there is just a little tiny 1.5 ounce weight just to get it down just enough to where those fish have been biting. From there, a little snap swivel, and then very important, your gear will twist up, so make sure you have one of these Fishfield Tornado chain swivels on there. Then I put a 12-pound bumper of Maxima Ultra Green, and that is just to allow your Dodger to give a little bit more action. This is a Yakima Bait Company Fast Limit Dodger. This is what we've had most of our bites on here today. Then, this is one of the most important parts about kokanee fishing that a lot of people overlook. The distance between your Dodger and your lure. Most time you want it to be short. And when I say short, I mean like 8 to 10 inches. Very tight to your Dodger. The Dodger, the whole purpose of this is not only to get the fish's attention, but to impart action on your lure to make that lure dart forward and back and give those fish something to react to. They like that lure darting back and forth. And then on down to our lure itself. Again, I mentioned it several times here today, but that spin glow rig has definitely become my favorite just because of its neutral buoyancy. You get a lot more action out of it behind this Fast Limit Dodger. So it does also create a little bit of wiggle on the water too, as opposed to the spinner blade. Just kind of spins this with that flat face on the spin glow itself. With a little bit of resistance in the water, it will make it dart a little bit too. Up shallow again. Right there, and you just switched up colors and went shallower. Got him? Oh yeah. Cutthroat. Hey, there you go.
Kokanee.
That's your second one today.
Yes, it is. It's a West Slope cutthroat, and a nice one too. That's actually, these are nice.
Good size.
Okay, these are, all these fish are hatchery. These are put here by the WDFW. They planted 60,000 of them a year they put in here. These West Slope cutthroats, and that's actually a nice fish for a West Slope. It really is.
Here we go. Oh, look at this giant. I just switched over to this pink on pink Dodger. We saw the other boats doing really well with a lot of color, but I maintained that little spin and glow rig. Again, I really like that spin glow rig just because it keeps neutral buoyancy. And this fish bit, and we thought he came off, but nope, there he is. We got him.
You will notice that that hole is not quite right in the center.
No.
When you buy them, get the ones that are just slightly off center because it makes them wobble along with the spin.
Almost like a cut plug.
Yeah.
Add this one to the pile.
And he's on.
You got him? Is it a Laker? There you go.
Outstanding, Private. And these are so small, I can't believe it. These are really tiny. We've been getting beautiful big fish. These are just the yearlings that are biting right now, apparently.
Yep, that's fish right there. On the planer board. Yep, see it sinking the planer board? Yeah, gosh, I can't even turn them. Okay, I'm gonna back up. I can grab the board.
You're not kidding.
I'll get that net handy from there, Herzog. Gonna hit anybody? No. Boy, this is a heavy fish. Big head shakes.
What? There'll be a lake trout out right this second. No lake trout in here.
It's fighting like a Laker, not pulling any drag. It's slow too. You see it lightly tap, and then, gosh, man, it's just bulldogging me here right now. Color, deep color.
Deep color. Look at the size of that thing.
I told you those are Lakers. I just said it on the graph too. Oh, get him in the net.
He's in.
It's in. Barely.
I told you there's no lake trout in here. What did I just say?
Those are not lake trout on the graph.
Nope, not Lakers at all. A lot of people that poo-poo lake trout, they go, oh, they're oily and white meated. Not these. They're
Really?
red meated. They eat kokanee and they eat mysis shrimp, so you tell me what he's going to taste like.
Oh, man, look at that thing. Just a giant leg. Look at his stomach. That pink Fast Limit Dodger with all pink, an ounce and a half on there.
Yeah.
I might put a big mag lip down there and see what's going on.
You know, I just put that back there, quite frankly.
It worked. Look at that thing. That's just gorgeous. Look at the colors on that. Look at the adipose fin. Just the color in the adipose fin.
State records out of here, 38 pounds.
38 pounds. Holy cow.
Yep.
That's like what we get out of Odell Lake.
On the downrigger I could see, but on the planer,
Everyone in the Midwest uses these. No one out here. Not a single other boat's using
I
them.
promise you, you're the first person in Lake Chelan history to catch a Laker on a planer board.
Yeah, it's sweet.
see?
Apex predator. Well, I think that's a good one to end on. It was
I think so.
a tough day.
Whew.
It's a nice day. Beautiful weather out here.
It was opposite day today, man. I've never seen anything like this, and hopefully I don't see anything like it again for quite some time.
But you know what? We still ended up with a box full of fish.
Yeah, we did.
And honestly, it's plenty for what we're gonna eat. That's more than enough. We don't need to come in with a limit every single time.
We got like 15.
Yeah. So we're in great shape.
Sure.
Plus, we got a big liquor.
Yeah, you got a big Laker.
All right. Well, before we get too sunburned, I think we should pick it up.
All right.
I'll probably leave my Laker rod down there for a few more minutes, though.
I just don't like you.
I know. All right. Let's pick it up.